What's going on, guys? This is Bruce Mattson, your host of the show, Metro Scout Fantasy Football, the show that talks about all things fantasy. And today we're going to get in on Gabriel Davis, Emanuel Sanders, and how this fantasy football value is going to play out for these guys. The thing about Gabriel Davis is that everybody was high on him this offseason. We saw Smokey Brown leave, which opened up some vacated targets, which could prominently go to him. He was a rookie last year, showed some promise. Emanuel Sanders got picked up. It was a very quiet move. Not many people was talking about it. Now news is coming out saying that he's going to have a large role in the offense, potentially being the wide receiver 2. We also have some Cole Beasley drama that has been stirred up. We may have a phantom retirement or whatever's going to go on with him, but we're just going to pretend he's going to be in and be out, whatever happens with him. I have no idea what Beasley's doing. This could become a conundrum for fantasy gamers. Gabriel Davis was pegged as the next coming for the wide receiver core, whatever that meant, because a lot of people was buying him. They were paying high prices pretty much for him. A second-round pick has been often traded for him in Dynasty. It's just a pretty high price tag that's been increasing throughout the offseason. It started out as him being like a speculative ad on the cheap, and now his price has slowly been rising, and then this news hit like yesterday, and it caused a conundrum. Last year, Stephon Diggs owned a 29% target share of the passing production. He is the alpha. He's going to be the guy. He is who Josh Allen likes to lean on, and that's not going to change unless he gets hurt. So unless something happens to Diggs, that's who is going to have the passing game funneled through. Cole Beasley had a 20% share. I could see that being reduced or just staying the same. Gabriel Davis's stats on the year: he caught 35 balls for 599 yards and 7 touchdowns. The 7 touchdowns is very encouraging, but touchdowns is very volatile for years for players, so don't expect the same thing. He had a 15.2 average at the target, which is good, which means he's getting them deep balls, which means he's probably going to play that Smokey Brown rule and get the deep targets, which could allow him to be fantasy relevant whether or not Emanuel Sanders is the wide receiver 2, because he can get you those volatile spike weeks by catching 1 or 2 deep passes in the game. He did have 11% target share. Obviously, it would have been low if Diggs was only near 30%, Beasley 20%, and you had Smokey Brown there as well. 3.7 yards after the catch per reception. That is very low, and he only had 2 wide receiver 2 weeks. Again, this isn't like an air raid offense, and he had one guy stealing or owning a large portion of the passing workload. His college profile is very interesting. You got a guy that fell to the 4th round. He has an age 19 breakout, but his athleticism is average. Like a 4.5 something 40-yard dash, average burst score. Nothing really to get you excited about. His college production is all right. From a dominator rating standpoint, over 30% his final year, over 1,000 yards receiving, but that was his only 1,000-yard season. Before that, he had like an 800-yard year and then his freshman year. But from his collegiate profile to what we see now, there's nothing that says he's an alpha. There's nothing that says he's great. When we look at his stock, from his player profile, it just looks like a speculative ad that you can add to your dynasty team. When it comes to him versus Emanuel Sanders, we're just going to have to let this one shake out. Emanuel Sanders is a proven veteran. He's very nuanced. He's very technical. He does everything well. He does not mess up on his route running at all, and that's something that could just help Josh Allen. That's just something that he could be leaning toward. That's something the coaching staff likes. They brought him in, so there's a reason why they brought him in, and if he's looking good, then that's just good for him, and that may not be good for Davis. However, Davis is a young guy. He can prove himself. He can earn more of a workload throughout camp, throughout the season, so it's not like he's dead yet. So we can still monitor him to see what happens. I would just pump the brakes thinking that he's going to turn into this wide receiver 1 that blossoms out of nowhere or becomes a good wide receiver 2. He's a good speculative ad if you can get him cheap. but lately he hasn't been cheap. On Twitter, through the trade grapevine, he's been going for like second-round rookie picks. He's been going pretty high, so people are valuing him, and it's just a bubble attached to his player value. If that pops, if he drops due to this news, then that could be a good thing. If you liked him, then you can buy him on the dip. That's where you want to buy him at, on the dip. You don't want to buy him on the spike. So Gabriel Davis, I'm fine with him if you can get him dirt cheap, but at this price point where he's at now on the trade market, it's something you just want to be wary of. Emanuel Sanders is an older veteran. I'm not interested in him on my teams for rebuilding, but I'm interested in having him as a flyer for the year if I have a contending team. Also, I could also flip him. So if I am rebuilding, I'm having him on my roster, hoping that he gets some spike weeks so I can flip him for something. 3rd round rookie pick, 4th round rookie pick, something that comes my way to build my roster. But I'm not looking at him as a long-term asset. Redraft, just want to see how these guys shake out. It's the Stephon Diggs show. He's going to be the guy down in the offense. If something happens to him, then it's going to be next man up. Imagine Emanuel Sanders would slide into the Diggs role and Davis would get more deep targets, and it would be more shootouts, more rushing, and it'd be an interesting play to see what happens in the passing offense. But that's all I got on this. I want to thank you for watching the show, sticking with me, and hit that subscribe button on the way out, and I'll catch you next time.